All right. On today's Fire Minute, we're going to talk to Corey Tang and Jeff Cummings on a fire that they had where Corey cuts both roll two, cut three, and a center louver hole with Jeff Cummings on the hook. So I'm going to turn it over to them and let them talk about some of the lessons learned they had on this fire. All right, gentlemen, you have the roof.
Go ahead, Corey.
So there we were, right? So we're in a little dry spell, so we switched from leather helmets to our plastic helmets, and boom. Sometimes you just gotta switch it up a little bit.
Plastic head.
So it was the plastic helmet that brought you this far?
It
Yes.
had to have been. But yeah, so whenever I I always had it in my mind that if we have heavy smoke and fire production, that it's going to be a good chance or high likelihood that we're going to be cutting more than one hole. So I always had the thought of I'm going to go straight to the roll two rafters and three down cuts or touch four rafters. But I did proceed to do that, but however, I forgot to do my middle cut. So when I started my second hole, I looked over and saw Jeff pounding away, and it instantly hit me that I forgot to do my middle cut. So it was good. It was a good idea, but it didn't get executed because I rolled two rafters. He wasn't able to punch through because there was no center down cut.
Great. Okay. And then Jeff, so how did you overcome that?
Well, I didn't realize he did that at first, but as soon as I tried to louver the hole, it kind of crossed my mind that he had rolled two on purpose, because we've talked about that a lot in the past, just going over our game plan and stuff. But when it didn't move, when I tried to louver it, right away I just kind of thought, all right, this isn't going to go anywhere, and I'm going to be pounding on this thing for a while. So I went to my pick-headed axe, which you always hear you got to have a pick-headed axe on the roof, and I think people always think of the axe on the roof as for cutting a hole if your saw fails, but I think the more likely use of it is to help open up your hole. So using that pick to just bury it into the hole he cut and pull the decking off
Just like that
right away. It came up right away really easily, and then from there at least the hole was open and we could work on getting those 1x6s out of the way as we were on the roof longer. But that has been kind of the go-to ever since. One punch with the roof hook, and then if it's not easy, I'll go right to my pick-headed axe.
Okay, cool.
And with that second hole, I did the normal center rafter louver because Jeff was on the other side still trying to get that hole open. I didn't have a hook to punch it in, so I don't have a pick-headed axe. I have a flat-headed axe, and I just bashed it through. But it would have been nice to have that pick to kind of stab it, but it still worked.
In this neighborhood, there's a lot of roofs with 1x6 straight sheathing or even skip sheathing, and that usually presents a problem with louvering a hole. You might be able to louver it, but there's still a lot of roofing material that's kind of blocking the hole. So as soon as that decking came up and I saw the 1x6s, kind of confirmed what I was thinking about the building construction. And from that point, I could just use my hook or my axe and start J-hooking all those 1x6s out of that span across both rafters, kind of J-hooking those out of the way. So the last few fires we've had have all been similar construction, where that's kind of been the go-to with my axe or the hook. But getting the axe out initially to get the pick and pull that decking up is what's been working pretty good.
Yeah, and you could even see like when on that second hole when I used my axe to punch through, I still had to reach down and grab each of the 1x6s to get it to actually louver.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing this information, and I hope everyone enjoyed this week's Fire Minute.